Now for our next presenter. He graduated at Pangasinan State University and earned units of his master's degree at Elohio Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology. He has been also the MTech coach and trainer for years. He is the current school custodian at Law Integrated School, Batang MANDunong. Let us all welcome our teacher reviewer for week 2, grade 6 mathematics, Mr. Jeffrey Tatuin.
Hello! Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Kumusta po ang mga batang mandunong? I hope okay ang lahat. Welcome to Project SOAR, a series of online academic reviews for mathematics Clyde modules. I'm Mr. Jeffrey Tatuin, guro sa Hulo Integrated School, at ako po ang inyong magiging math buddy sa linggong ito upang talakayin natin ang mga advanced lessons sa Mathematics 6, Quarter 2, Week 2. Handa na ba kayong makinig at matuto mga mandunong kids? Kung gayon, ihanda na inyong mga papel at ballpen at sisimulan na natin ang ating aralin. Laging iisipin na Math-sayang Math-aral, tayo ng Math-tuto. Tara na! Welcome again to Project SOAR, an advanced lesson in Mathematics 6, Quarter 2, Week 2. I'm Jeffrey P. Tatuin, Grade 6 Math teacher at Hulo Integrated School. Our topics for today, we have number 1, finding a missing term in a proportion, whether it is a direct, inverse, and partitive proportion. Second, we have solving problems involving direct proportion, partitive proportion, and inverse proportion in different contexts such as distance, rate, and time using appropriate strategies and tools. Our first objective is finds a missing term in a proportion. Mapadirect man yan, inverse, and partitive proportion. Okay, to start, let's have a short review in your topic last week regarding ratio. So, express the ratio of the following in simplest form. Number 1, a class of 120 pupils from 3 sections. What is the ratio in simplest form? Your answer, please. Is 1:40. Okay? Number 2, 45 minutes to 3 hours. Your answer, please. Okay, we have 1:4. Next, write the ratio for each of the following. Okay, we have an illustration here of bicycles, airplanes, and cars. So, first question is, what is the ratio of bikes to airplanes? Your answer, please. Okay, 4:10, or in simplest form, 2:5. Number 2, what is the ratio of airplanes to cars? What is your answer? 10:9. So there are 10 airplanes to 9 cars. Let's start our lesson for today. We will start the lesson with a problem. Here is the problem. Dave wants to enlarge a 4-inch by 6-inch picture frame so that the longer side will be 18 inches. How long will the shorter side be? Now, let us study the diagram of the given situation. Look at the original picture frame. What is its length? 6 inches. Very good. How about the width? 4 inches. Very good. Now, what is the ratio of length to width? 6:4. Very good. Now, look at the enlarged picture frame. What is its length? 18 inches. Very good. How about the width? Unknown. Okay. So, let's find the unknown measurement of that picture frame. Okay. So, let us put it in the table. So, we have original frame is to enlarge frame with a ratio of length is to width is equal to length is to width. Okay? So, the measurement of the original frame, we have 6 inches is to 4 inches is equal to 18 inches is to n. N is the unknown. So, how do we find the unknown or the n? So, we will find the missing term in a proportion. Here's how. Okay, so first, we must make the ratios equal to form a proportion. We will solve for the missing term using the product of means and extremes method. Ano nga ba yung tinatawag nilang means tsaka extremes? Ito yon. We have two ratios here. We have 6:4 and 18:n. The first term and the fourth term are called extremes, while the second term and the third terms are called means. Dapat ang product ng extremes is equal to the product of means to form a proportion. So, ito na po ang ginawa nating solution para makuha natin ang missing term in a proportion. So, we have product of the extremes is equal to product of the means. So, we have to multiply 6 by n and 4 by 18. So, 6 by n, we got 6n. 4 by 18, we got 72. So, we have to divide it by 6. So, 6n divided by 6 and 72 divided by 6. So, we have cancelled out na po yung 6. So, matitira ang n. 72 divided by 6 is 12. So, ang value ng n ngayon ay 12. So, the unknown measurement is 12 inches. Yan din po ang missing term in a proportion. Okay, so here's another example in finding the missing term in a proportion. So we have, find the missing term. We have 5:7 is equal to 15:n. So we have the fourth term as unknown or the missing term. So gagamitin ulit natin ang product of the extremes and product of means method. So, we have 5:7 is equal to 15:n. Multiply natin ang extreme. So, 5 times n. Multiply natin ang means. 7 times 15. So, 5 by n is 5n. 7 by 15 is 105. Then, we will divide it by 5. So, 5n divided by 5 is n. Then, 105 divided by 5 is 21. So, the missing term is 21 or the fourth term is 21. Okay, so we will use another method in finding the missing term in a proportion. So, we will call it a cross product method. So, here's the problem. Find the missing term. We have 6:4 is equal to 18:n. So, using the cross product method, first, you have to rename the ratios as fraction form. So, 6:4, we will rename it as 6/4. Then, 18:n, we will rename it as 18/n. In a cross product method, you will multiply the first numerator to the second denominator. Then you will multiply the first denominator to the second numerator. So we have to multiply 6 by n and 4 by 18. So 6 by n is equal to 6n. 4 by 18 is equal to 72. Then we will divide it by 6. So 6n divided by 6, we have n. Then 72 divided by 6, we got 12. So the missing term is 12. Okay, so I will give another example in finding the missing term in a proportion using cross-product method. So here's the problem. N is to 5 is equal to 24 is to 40. So the first term is the missing term. So we will use the cross-product method. So again, you have to rename the ratios as fraction form. So rename n is to 5 into fraction form. We have n over 5. Then 24 is to 40 into 24 over 40. Then we will cross multiply. So n multiply by 40, then 5 by 24. So n by 40, we got 40n. Then 5 by 24 equals 120. Then we will divide it by 40. So 40n divided by 40 is equal to n. Then 120 divided by 40 is equal to 3. So the missing term is 3. Okay, so let's practice what you learn. So find the missing term using the product of means and extremes method. So product ng means and extremes method ang gagamitin nyo. So number 1, we have 10 is to 15 is equal to 8 is to n. So find the missing term. Okay, time's up. What is your answer? Okay, so the answer is 12. Next, number 2. We have 8 is to n is equal to 20 is to 10. Find the missing term. Okay, time's up. What is your answer? The answer is 4. Okay. So here's another. Solve for the missing term using cross-product method. So cross-product method naman ang gagamitin nyo. Number 1. So we have 4 over 12 is equal to n over 18. So solve for the missing term. What is your answer? The answer is 6. Okay. So number 2. We have n over 25 is equal to 15 over 5. So find the missing term. Okay, time's up. What is your answer? The answer is 75. Okay? Okay, so that's all for our first lesson. So always remember that equal ratios form a proportion. Proportion is a statement of equality between two ratios. And in a proportion, the product of the means equals the product of the extremes. Okay, mga batang mandunong, handa na ba kayo sa ating ikalawang lesson sa araw na ito? Okay, so ang ating ikalawang lesson ay solving problems involving direct proportion, partitive proportion, and inverse proportion in different contexts such as distance, rate, and time using appropriate strategies and tools. Our objective is solve problems involving direct proportion, partitive proportion, and inverse proportion in different contexts such as distance, rate, and time using appropriate strategies and tools. Okay, so before we start, let's have a review of terms. We have proportion. What is a proportion? A proportion is a statement of equality between two ratios. Distance. Distance is the degree or amount of separation between 2 points, lines, surfaces, or object. So we use units as miles, feet, kilometers, and etc. Then we have rate. Rate is a quantity, amount, or degree of something measured per unit of something else. Example is we have 80 meters per minute. Then we have time. Time is a measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues. So we have the duration, we have hour, minutes, seconds, day, year, and etc. Okay, so let's start our second lesson with the problem. So here's the problem. We have a car travels 120 kilometers in 3 hours. So how many kilometers will it cover for 5 hours? So how do we solve the problem? So to solve the problem, we need to make a proportion. Okay? So, as you notice, the two quantities being compared are distance, kasi naka-kilometer siya, then time, kasi may hours. Okay, so let's put it in the table. So, we have to make two ratios. We have kilometers is to hours is equal to kilometers is to hours. So, in the first ratio, we have 120 kilometers is to 3 hours. The second ratio, we have the missing kilometers is to 5 hours. So, we will use the product of means and extremes method to get the missing term. So, we have to get the product of the extremes and means. So, we have to multiply 3 times x equals 3x. Then, multiply 120 by 5 is equal to 600. Then, we have to divide it by 3. So, 3x divided by 3 is equal to x. Then, 600 divided by 3 is equal to 200. So, the missing term is 200. So, therefore, the car traveled 200 kilometers for 5 hours. So, what types of proportion? We have direct proportion. Why direct proportion? Because direct proportion, as one term increases, the other term increases too at the same rate. Okay, so I will give another example. So here's the problem. 4 men can repair a road in 6 hours. How long will it take 8 men to finish the job if they work at the same rate? So how do we solve the problem? So the number of men is inversely proportional to the time taken to do the job. So, it is inversely proportional. Arang kabaliktaran siya. So, we have 4 men can finish in 6 hours. 8 men in unknown R's. So how many R's? Okay, so we will get the ratio of the same kind. We have men is to men is equal to R's is to R's. Okay, so the first ratio we have 4 men is to 8 men. And the second ratio we have 6 R's is to N. Okay, the unknown term. So take note that you have to invert the number of R's before solving the value of N. So you will get the reciprocal of the ratio of R's. Okay, so we will use the cross product method. So we will rename the ratios into fraction form. So first ratio we have 4 over 8. Second ratio we have n over 6. The reciprocal of 6 is to n is n over 6. So we will use the cross product method. You have multiply 8 by n is equal to 8n. Then we have 4 by 6 is equal to 24. Then we will divide it by 8. So 8 divided by 8 is equal to n. Then 24 divided by 8 is equal to 3. Okay, so the missing term is 3. So therefore, it will take 3 hours for 8 men to finish the job. Okay? So what types of proportion is this? It is an inverse proportion. Okay, why inverse proportion? Because when an increase in one quantity results in a decrease in another quantity. Okay, so pagod na ba kayo mga batang mandunong? Hey, wag mag-alala dahil last na to. Ito na yung last problem natin. So we have the ratio of boys to girls in a class is 3:5. If there are 48 pupils in the class, how many boys and girls are there? So what proportions can be made? Okay, since we don't know the constant of proportionality, we let that as n, which means that 3n is the number of boys and 5n is the number of girls. Okay, now we will put it in the table so that we will get the value of n. So we have boys plus girls is equal to pupils. So we have 3n plus 5n is equal to 48. Then 3n plus 5n is equal to 8n equals 48. Then we will divide it by 8. 8n divided by 8. Then 48 divided by 8. Then 8n divided by 8 is equal to n. 48 divided by 8 is equal to 6. So the value of n is 6. Okay? So now we will get the number of boys and girls. Okay, so we have 3n plus 5n is equal to 48. We will substitute n for its value. So 3 times 6 plus 5 times 6 is equal to 48. Then we have 3 times 6 is equal to 18. 5 times 6 equal to 30. And 18 plus 30 is equal to 48. So the answer is there are 18 boys and 30 girls in the class. So what types of proportion is this? It is an partitive proportion. Why partitive proportion? Because partitive proportion is used to divide a number into parts proportional to the given ratio. Okay, so again and again, always remember that proportion can be classified as direct proportion, if an increase in the first term is accompanied by a corresponding increase in the second term. An inverse proportion is when an increase in one quantity results in a decrease in another quantity. And a partitive proportion is used to divide a number into parts proportional to the given ratio. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you and see you again.
And that's all for today's session. Always support Project SOAR by watching our advanced and review video lessons from our Plate Learning module and to enhance your mathematics skills. And to be more updated, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, MTM, and do not also forget to like and follow our Facebook page, Math Team, Mathematics Teachers Association of Mandaluyong. That's all for today. Goodbye and God bless.